Welcome to the January 2025 Spicy Workout. All you're going to need with your workout today is going to be a set or maybe a couple pairs of dumbbells. We're looking a little bit heavier today, probably in the 12 to 30 pound range for your dumbbells, so grab those handy. Other than that, mostly body weight, maybe a kitchen counter here and there, but that's about it. So let's get started. We're going to begin with a warm-up, starting on our side with some arm circles. So legs together as if you're sitting in a chair, arms in the front, and we're going to draw a nice big circle with the arm. As we come around back here, we're going to turn the torso, follow the hand with your head, and slow it down back there, because that's where we're going to get most of the benefit as we open up the spine and open the shoulder. Finish your circle and then go right into the next circle. We're going to do 4 of these per side. Deep breath out as we open the rib cage. And don't worry if your arm is coming way up off the floor. Over time, as we start to mobilize and loosen up, the arm will start to get closer and closer and closer to the floor. All right, that's my 4 on my left side. I'm gonna flip over to the right. As always, with our home workouts, we go at whatever pace is appropriate for you. You might be doing more reps or less reps than what I do on the video, and that is perfectly fine. I'm going to be going through 3 sets of our primary exercises and likely 2 sets of more of the core stuff. If you want to do less or more sets, that is up to you. This whole workout should be right around an hour. 1 more on the second side. Don't forget that deep breath out. All right. There's our arm circles. We're going to go into some seesaws here. So the seesaw, a bit of a funky one. We're going to start on all 4s, lift the knees up. That's going to push us into a plank position. Now from here, I'm going to keep my knees low. I'm going to bend my knees and shoot my hips back towards my heels. My arms are straightening out, and then I'm going to extend my legs and return back to the push-up position. And repeat. I'm trying to keep my knees off the ground here, but if this is a little too intense on the legs, you can put your knees down and just sit your butt down towards your heels. And then come back forward, lifting your knees off the ground once you can. Over time, we're trying to get that full knee bend while keeping the knees slightly off the ground. Return right back to that full push-up position. Looking for 6 to 10 of these. Nice little mobility and activation exercise. This is 6 for me. I'm going to go 2 more. 7. Last one for me. All right. Seesaw, starting to get the legs warmed up already. Let's head into the Cossack squat. This one we're looking for about 4 to 8 per side. If you have a strap, feel free to use a strap. If you don't, you can hold on to a wall, a kitchen counter, a chair, anything that you can support your body weight with a little bit. We don't need to support the entire body weight, but a portion of it most likely. We're going to get our feet nice and wide. Maybe I'll show this angle here. So feet nice and wide, toes forward. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift my hips over to one side. So I get this hip, knee, and toe in line, and my other leg is pointing straight up, and I'm getting this knee nice and straight. And then I'm going to pull myself up and head over to the other side. I'm holding the bottom for about 3 to 5 seconds and then slowly returning to the other side. Let me show a couple more angles here from the front. Get to come over. I want to make sure the heel is down. The heel that I'm squatting over stays down to the floor. So we don't want to have the heel come up. You might not get all the way down. You might be here, and that's fine. We're just working on increasing that depth over time. So from the side, if you're holding on to something, same deal. Just hold on. Try to keep the torso upright. This straight leg, with the toe up, we get more into a hamstring stretch. If you turn the toes to face forward, you'll get it more into the inner thigh or the groin muscles. You can work on whichever one you feel you get a bit more benefit, or whichever one you feel you need to focus on. All right, I'll do one more per side here. That should put me around 5 per side, I believe. You'll probably find through my workouts, because I'm doing a lot of talking, I'm not going to be bang on with the rep count, and you'll find I'm not too worried about that. The number of reps that we do in each set is less important than control, technique, and effort. So as long as you feel you did a good amount of work in the set, and you're fatigued, and we're happy, regardless of what the rep count is. All right, those are the Cossacks. That is our warm-up. We're ready to go. So our first 2 exercises, we're gonna do reverse lunge to work the quads and the glutes, and then we're gonna do a gorilla row to work the lats, our back muscles, and our biceps. I'm gonna grab a couple weights here. I have a set of lighter weights in case I need to change up the weight I'm doing. And we're gonna do 8 to 12 reps for both exercises. So let's start with the reverse lunge. I'm gonna step back with one leg, drop the knee as close to the floor without resting on it, and then step forward and switch legs. So this is going to be 8 to 12 per leg. I'm making sure that I'm going down slow and controlled. I'm keeping about 60-70% of my weight on the front leg. So you'll notice I have a slight lean with my torso. That allows me to keep weight on the front leg. If I come way back here, that's fine as long as I'm not getting any pressure or pain in the back knee. If you get that discomfort in the knee, shift your weight forward a bit more, and that should reduce the amount of pressure going through the knee. The weights I'm just holding down by the side. You can hold these in a rack position as well if you want to challenge your upper body a bit more. 1 more per side here. Good. All right, that's set number 1. As I mentioned, we're going through 3 sets of our first 4 exercises. Okay, from there we're gonna go to a gorilla row. I'll show these from the floor. If you find it awkward, you can go to a standard bench row. I'll show that later as an alternative. So, weights are on the ground, about shoulder width apart. I am going to get over top of the weights. My heels are off the ground. I'm sticking my butt out. Keep a nice, neutral, long spine position. And then I'm going to row 1 dumbbell up. So pull the elbow out to the side, replace the dumbbell, and alternate. 8 to 12 per side. Same thing, we're going nice and controlled. Have a slight pause at the top before you return it back down. Trying to keep my hips square, shoulders relatively square, so I'm not rolling over as I pull the weights up. Got about 30–40% of my weight in my hands, the rest in my feet. You're gonna feel your legs working here to hold this position, as well as the arms as we roll the weights up. One more from side. All right, one extra. We'll take an extra one. Okay, so that's our gorilla row. If you find that position awkward, then you're gonna come over to the bench on the next set. If you got a bench or chair or a couch, hopefully I'm still in the video here. And then you're gonna do a row this way. You'll do 8 to 12 on the one side and then switch up to the other side. All right, let's go back to the reverse lunge. We're gonna take a little bit of a more scheduled break, if you wanna call it, after the 3 sets. But I'm gonna try and keep this time between my sets here a little bit more shortened. So here we go. Let's rack them up. Okay, step back and forward. Again, we're controlling the body weight down. Don't just let yourself fall. Try not to have the back leg too far back where the knee is really straight. That takes a lot of the work away from the exercise. So have that back knee bend. Think of the knee going directly under the hip. That's a good landmark to think of. Whew, I'll be breathing heavy. This will work out. Keep it at 9s, 10s. And if you can't get your knee to the floor, that's okay. Getting as close as you can. Over time, you can get lower. All right, there's 12. Set your weights, get them ready for the rows. You might see me using the same weight for a lot of the exercises today, which means I'm not necessarily challenging myself optimally for each exercise, because if I did pick the optimal weight load, it would be different weight loads for each exercise. This one I might do 5 pounds more, that one maybe 10 pounds more, but just to avoid clutter and also because I'm talking a lot, I'm not working as hard as I normally would because I got a blah, blah, blah. So I'm just keeping kind of a one weight load that I can manage across all exercises. All right, so hopefully you are changing your weight loads over time. Okay, let's get down to gorilla rows. Heels are up, and here we go. And you can do, like maybe you don't have a pair of 20s. You only have one 20-pound dumbbell. Can you do all on one side and then all on the other? You sure can. The only thing you want to watch with that is that we're not cheating with our body position. So we don't want to be shifting our weight over and we're just doing a bunch of reps on one side. When I have to alternate each rep, I get a little bit of feedback. How much am I shifting my body weight side to side? And if I'm shifting things around, then I'm not staying centered. I want to try to center my body, stabilize with my core and my leg muscles a little bit more. I got one more per side here. Good. Now if you find your legs are giving out before your arms, it makes sense because we just did some lunges before we came to here. But that also might tell you you can go heavier. Even if the weights were a lot lighter than what you did, the legs will still be working because of the position. So if we're not getting the arm fatigue before you're done, maybe try a heavier weight so that we do find that work with the arms. All right, back to the lunges last time. I'm gonna show a goblet squat position here, or a goblet lunge. So again, if you only have one dumbbell, or you only want to use one, you can hold it to the center of the chest here. Here we go. And on the lunges as well, you could do all 8 to 12 on one side if you wanted to challenge yourself a little bit more, because we don't quite get, even though it's a short rest, we do get a little bit of rest when we alternate our legs before we come back to the same side. So if I keep working the same leg here, I get a little bit more work out of it. More. If you're still alternating, you keep going. 8 to 12 per side. All right, switching up. If you're not sure if you're going too quick or too slow, 97% of the time, we can go slower. Some exercises we do want momentum and power and speed, but I'll let you know when we get to those exercises. So if I'm not telling you to use power and to drive hard, then slower is often going to mean more work. And that's what we're here for, right? All right, last rep. Good. Okay. One more set of gorilla rows, and then we're switching it up. If 2 sets was already enough, then that's fine. Take a little bit longer rest, and then join in again when we get to our next superset. All right, gorilla rows, here we go. Oh, I'll show these from the side, just so you can see leg and spine position. Here we go. So sticking the butt out, long in the spine, thinking of pulling the elbows to the back pockets so we're not shrugging way up here, keeping the shoulder down. If the heels are down, your back probably looks like this, rounded. We don't want to have that position. Straighten it out, but you'll need your heels up for that. And your quads will have to work for that. And your glutes will have to work for that. So is that harder? Yes. That's why you're doing the spicy workout today, because you want the work. This is 10 per side. 11. And 12. Beautiful. Take some well-deserved water. We're done with our first superset. We're gonna move to superset number 2. So we're gonna head into an offset hip hinge, which is going to target more of the glutes and hamstrings. And then we're gonna do the time-tested push-up for our upper body press work today. Can't go wrong with a push-up. So for the offset hip hinge, you're gonna need dumbbells. Once you've got the movement down, we can go pretty heavier. Probably heavier than your lunges and heavier than your gorilla rows. But make sure you have your technique down first. Push-ups from the floor. If that's too challenging, go to bench, chair, stairs. That's too hard. Table, countertop. The higher you are, the easier it is. All right. So we're gonna start with the offset hip hinge, 8 to 12 per leg. Grab your weights. I'll show these from the side first. So I'm gonna work my right leg first, which means I'll take my left toes and just put them or park them behind my right heel. So I'm not back here in a lunge. It's just a little bit of a drop back and the heel stays up. that forces me to work my right leg. From here, I'm gonna hinge. Hinge meaning I shoot my butt out. When you think you've shot your butt out far enough, shoot it out more, because it's probably got room to go. The chest is gonna dive forward, but I keep pulling the weights back. So my shoulders are never getting pulled forward to the floor. I'm avoiding that or fighting that by keeping them away from the floor. And that helps keep that spine activated, keeps the spine in a nice, long, neutral position. So we don't want to be here. None of the rounding stuff. No pain at the low back. Does this exercise work the low back? It requires the low back to work, but the low back is not your limiting factor. It should be grip strength if your weight's heavy enough. Or eventually, maybe glute and hamstring work. Probably breathing and conditioning should give out before your low back. A mirror is a great feedback mechanism on this. So you can watch yourself in the mirror and see your positioning. All right, that's close to 12, I believe. We're gonna go to the other side. I'll show the second side from the front. So right toes back, here we go. Butt goes back. I didn't even mention the knees, my apologies. So the knee on the working leg does bend. It does not stay straight, then I'll lose my back. It also doesn't bend like a squat. Essentially it stays in place. My hips shoot back, which makes the knee bend, but I don't push the knee forward or back. It just stays glued in space. Strong grip on the bells. Like I said, the grip might be your limiting factor in this exercise. The dumbbells go straight down, in line with the foot. So we're not pushing the weights out in front of us. We've got two more. Great. It goes down. Okay. Finally, an exercise without the dumbbells. Let's get into our push-ups. So we have lots of variations on these. Today we'll just talk about the traditional standard push-up, but if you're playing with other varieties, narrower or so on, choose your appropriate variation. We're looking at, well, it's body weight based, so somewhere in the 6 to 15 rep range. That's a big range. Do as many as you can with good form. And if you can get to 15, then start exploring harder variations. So hands outside shoulder width apart. I'm going to get into a plank position. My shoulders are over top of my hands. So not my forehead, my shoulders. I'm going to lower myself down as one unit and press up, stopping just before I rest on the floor. I'm not poking my chin forward. I'm not letting my hips stay up in the air. I'm not drooping my hips to the floor. So everything moves together. 7, 8, 9, 10. Nice control on the way down. 12, 13, 14, and 15. Beautiful. First set done. All right, we're back to the offset hip hinge. If you're just working on your hinge pattern, you still don't have that movement down, and you find this offset is a little too technical, just work on your regular hip hinge. So both feet hip width apart, toes forward, and just get used to sticking the butt out while keeping the ribs up and the shoulders back, and just work on that today. Come to the offset hip hinge party when you're ready to join. All right, I'm gonna start with my left leg this time. Right leg back, I'll show from the front here. All right, here we go. Hinging and back up. So again, shoulders are not pushing the weights to the floor. We don't want that. Proud position. Shoulders are pulling the weights away from the floor at all times. Slow movement. We're not rushing. You should feel the glutes, the hamstring of the front leg working here. If you only have one dumbbell, not a problem. Just work one side at a time, and you can have it in either hand. Having it in the same side as the working leg, you'll feel is a little bit more stable, a bit easier. Having it in the opposite hand forces your core to work more, the outside of the hip to work more. So you choose your variation. All right, that's it for me. Second side. Here we go. The range of motion can come with time as well. Don't feel you have to get your torso parallel to the floor. My grip is getting tired. It's good. That's what we want. Some stronger forearms for when you come back to this workout later this week or next week or whenever. 2 more. All right. I think I did 1 or 2 less reps on that side. My grip needs a little break there. All right. Back to push-ups. Let's show from the side. Let's talk a little bit about pelvis position in the push-up. So when we're setting up, excuse me, when we're setting up, think of not having the butt up in the air. Tuck your tailbone in, squeeze your glutes and abs, and then lock that in place as you go through. So the whole body moves together. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. If you were to go to the floor, the whole body would contact at the same time. So if you feel like your pelvis would touch first or your face would touch first, then we need to find a position where we can keep the whole body nice and straight and everything touches together. It's 12, 13, 14, and 15. All right, that's 2 rounds. We got 1 more to go. All right. If I end up only doing 8 or 9 or 10 reps instead of the 8 or instead of the 10 to 12, don't stop when I stop. You keep going. See how the grip does here. All right. Pick your side. Here we go. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm very happy you're here with me. Getting our sweat on in a spicy workout. Now, if you don't have dumbbells or you don't have very heavy dumbbells, this might feel like a very easy workout. And then maybe go check out the mild option, which might actually be harder than this one if you don't have the heavy dumbbells. I got 2 more. You keep going if you can. I'm gonna take a little break for my forearms before I start my second side. After this, we got our push-ups. Then we're moving into our core. 2 sets there. And then we have our bring the heat section. This is gonna be a fun. Yes, we will have fun, but challenging. Little end to the workout. All right, second side. Now, if you're cruising through this workout, calling me a wuss for taking so long, you already done your push-ups, get some water, be patient. I'll catch up soon enough, and then we'll move on together. This is 8. Keep checking posture.
Deep in the night, fear takes its hold. The darkness creeps, the story.
Last one. There it is. All right, dumbbells down. We don't need those for a while now. Okay, third set of push-ups. Last one. Okay, let's get ready. Shoot for 15 here. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Very nice. All right, quick drink of water. We're gonna head into our Copenhagen side plank and dead drop. I'll be right with you. I'm just gonna grab a quick drink of water. Okay, sweat rag out. All right, for the Copenhagen side plank, you're gonna want something you can prop your leg up on. Chair, couch, coffee table, pet, partner, anything that's about a foot off the ground. 1 to 2 feet is ideal. If you don't have something like that, you can do a split. I'll just show that quick. Do a split side plank where your bottom leg is as forward in front of you as you can. So we'll get a lot of the same benefit as the Copenhagen with the split. Just keep that leg forward if you can. If you do have an object, your top leg is going to rest on the surface of that object. Very important, this knee is never locked out. Straight is fine, slight bend is fine, just not locked. That's a lot of pressure on the inside the knee. All right, so elbows under the shoulder. We can start with the lower leg on the ground. Bring the hips up. We're here for 30 seconds. What I want to focus on is the inner thigh of my top leg working. I'm going to start to push that foot into the bench, putting less and less pressure on this lower leg. Eventually, that leg is off the ground. And then that top leg's obviously doing all the work. If we're not there yet, just have the leg down or straighten it out or have it to the front. Something where you're using it only as much as you need. I'm driving my elbow away from the ground so I'm not getting sloppy in the shoulder. Hips high and forward. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. All right, I'm gonna have to show you my backside here for the next side. Just today. I'm not gonna wheel the bench over to the other side, just to spare you guys. So foot up on the platform. Also, I can watch the clock here, so we might actually do 30 seconds instead of more or less. All right, drive through the elbow, hips come up and forward. Use the bottom leg as needed, or have it in the air. Don't forget, your top knee is not locked out. Breathe, long neck. I've got this top arm up to the ceiling. That just helps remind me where my body is in space. You don't have to have it there. That's just where I like it. 5 seconds. 2, 1, and time. All right, so that was 30. There's nothing magical about 30 seconds. If you can go 45 or a minute, you go longer. All right, we're gonna go into the dead drop. So we'll do 8 to 12 reps of dead drops, lying on the back. We're gonna reach our feet and our hands to the ceiling. Now you notice the difference between shoulders down and shoulders up. Shoulders up forces my abdominals to lift part of my rib cage off the ground and keep the abs engaged. Once the shoulders drop, the abs release, I'll hyperextend in the low back, start feeling pressure or discomfort at the low back. That's a no-no. We shut down the exercise if you're feeling that. We only work as long as we can keep the shoulders up. All right, from here, we drop the arms and legs as close to the floor as you're comfortable, and then bring them back up. That's 2, 3, all abdominal work here. 4, 5, 6. If these are too hard, you can do some hollow tucks instead, where you bend your knees to your elbows and then straighten out. So that's a little bit easier of a variation. And 12. Beautiful. All right. So hopefully you're feeling that all in the abdominals. We're gonna go right back to the Copenhagen side plank for the obliques. And then we're into our final section of work before the stretches. All right. Actually, I started with that side last time, so I'm gonna switch my starting side. Don't feel that that is necessary. It's just something I try to do if I think about it. All right, ready to go. And let's get up. Copenhagen side plank. Set number 2. Brought to you by the Gimli Fish Market. I'm not too sure what. No sponsors here. Keep the hips high, keep them forward. We got 5 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Come on down. All right, other side. All right, you do the counting for me. I can't see the clock right now. Get ready. 3, 2, 1. Let's go up. Keep breathing on this one. Watch neck position. So we're not here. We're looking down at our feet. Nice long position through the neck. If the inner thigh is not letting you keep your hips up, put your lower leg down a little bit. Get him back up there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on down. All right. Core work is done, my friends. So we're gonna head to our final section of work. I call this Bring the Heat. It is our spicy workout after all. Grab some water here if you would like. Here's our format. We have 3 exercises. I'm going to demonstrate them all first so that once we get going, we can just work and I'm not talking your ear off. We're going to do 10 reps of each exercise, and then 8, then 6, then 4, 2 reps of each exercise, and then you put them down. You wipe up your sweaty face, wipe away the tears, and we'll stretch it out. All right, so we have thrusters. You can go back to your heavy weights or a little bit lighter, depending on how much energy you got. So again, I'm going to demonstrate them first, give you a bit more rest here. Dumbbells up at the shoulder. This is the rack position. We're going to get into a squat. We're going to squat down, knees out, and use the legs to drive the weights up. Straight up overhead, palms facing each other or forward. That's up to you. Reset to the shoulder and repeat. 10 of those. Then we go into burpees. Lots of variations. Here's the standard. Hands to the floor. Kick out. Kick in, landing in this squat position. Jump and repeat. From the side, squat down. Kick out. Land in the squat, and then jump. If you want to do a push-up at the bottom, you throw it in there. Tiger kickback is our 3rd exercise. We go into quadruped position. We bring both knees off the ground slightly, and we alternate. 1 kick. Try not to kick anything. Other side. And we're just going back and forth. Slight pause at the top. The knees are always just above the ground. We don't want them up, we don't want them on the ground. That's it, that's our 3. All right. I'm having a little bit of a existential debate with myself whether to go a little bit lighter here. I might regret this. But it is called Bring the Heat after all. So here we go. We'll stick with the big boys for now. 10 reps of everything. That should be enough rest for you. We're gonna go all the way from 10 to 2, only resting if you absolutely need it. All right, here we go. Up at the shoulders, 10 repetitions. Squat to press, that's 1. 2, 3, 4, knees out, elbows high. 5, heels down. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, into the burpees. I just gotta watch that I don't take out the ceiling fan. Here we go. 1. I don't like jumping in here. I'm always running to take something out. 2. 3. I know what you're thinking. I would never make the NBA. What am I worried about? All right. If the jump gets to be too hard, just stand and back down. 8, 9, 10. All right. Tiger kickbacks. Start quadruped. What was I kicking last time? Okay. Start quadruped. Don't let the knees touch. Here we go. Alternate. That's 1. 2. 3. Hands under the shoulders. 4. So we're not here. Get the knees down. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Woo! Sweat rag. Okay, we're going to 8s. I think I got one more round with these big guys. All right, friends. Here we go. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well done. Burpees. Let's flip them to the side here. Here we go. When we go back to the push-up position, land strong there. Try not to drop down there. And try not to do a little kick there. Whew. 6, 7, and 8. Now your kick back. How are we doing? All right. Well over halfway done after this. Here we go. Knees up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, we've done 18 of 30 reps for each exercise. All right, we're on 6s. Okay, definitely the last round with the big boys. Maybe they're big girls, I don't know. Okay, let's get ready. 6 reps. Thrusters, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is so much nicer than 8, isn't it? All right, burpees. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's get down. Try your kickbacks. 6 per side. 3, 2, 1, here we go. 1. Try to keep that form. Be strict. 3. I'm definitely breathing more than talking now. The heat has been brought. Was that 5 or 6? Let's do one more. I'm not sure. All right, maybe a bonus in there. 6 is done. I got good news for you. 4 and 2, that's it. All right. One more with the big girls. Last one, I promise. I take back my promise. Maybe we'll finish here. All right, bring them up. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Burpees. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tigers. Let's go. Knees up. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's 3. I'm getting ahead of myself. And 4. All right, friends. Last round, 2 reps. Here we go. I'm going lighter. Just joking. Let's go heavy. Last 2. All right. Here we go. 1. Nice and strong finish. Good job. 2 burpees. 1, 2. Tigers. Let's finish it up here, my friends. That's 1. And 2. Woo! Good work. All right. Thank you for bringing the heat with me. I'm hot, I'm sweaty. Maybe no tears. Maybe next time. All right, great work. We have 4 stretches to get through, and then you're on your way. Quick drink of water, and then we'll stretch out. Okay, let's wrap this up. If you want to work on your balance, don't hold anything. If you need to hold on for balance, feel free to grab a wall or something else. Grab one ankle. You're gonna bend that knee. Make sure it stays parallel to the other leg so we're not chicken winging out to the side. Draw the leg back behind you and then squeeze your glutes to push your pelvis forward. We're looking to stretch that quad out. I'll hold about 30 seconds per stretch here. Feel free to hold these for longer, 90 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes. If you feel it's an area that needs to be worked on. If you have one side that's a lot tighter than the other, you do 2 sets on the affected side or the tight side, or just spend more time on that side. Okay, let's go to the other leg. Grab the ankle, bend the knee all the way, pull the leg back, and then drive the pelvis forward. Wow, that was a lot of fun. Thank you for joining me. All right, that's our quad stretch. We're gonna head to a glute stretch here. So find a wall. You're gonna sit about a foot away from the wall. The tighter your glutes are, the further from the wall you can be. The more flexible you are, the closer to the wall you'll need to be. Start with the legs up. You're gonna pull your tailbone into the floor. So if your butt rolls off the ground or your low back pushes into the ground, then we've lost our pelvic tilt. Tilt the pelvis forward, tailbone goes down. Keep that there. Cross right leg over left thigh and start sliding your left heel down the wall. Don't forget about the tailbone. You'll start to feel a stretch in the glute of the right side. Hold there once you've got a good stretch. And you can play with some angles here. You can play with gliding the leg across the body, bringing your knee to the opposite shoulder or towards the opposite side. You can also play with a little bit of external rotation by pushing the knee down. So just play with those different angles and see where you get a nice glute stretch. This was a full body workout. Feel free to go through it 2-3 times a week for the month of January, or maybe do some of the mild workout and some of this one. And as we continue to add more workouts in future months, you can always come back to this one and mix it in with the rest of the workout collection that will grow on the app. All right, other side. Cross the left leg over the right thigh. Start sliding the right heel down until you feel a good stretch, and then play with your angles. So our first two stretches were the quads and the glutes, which we worked a lot in that last section of the workout. If you feel you want to stretch out your hamstrings, calves, hip flexors, adductors, other lower body muscle groups, feel free to do so. This is not a dictatorship. Do what you would like. I'm just here to guide you. But we can only do so much in our time that we have, so feel free to add more if you would like. All right, come on out of there. We're gonna head into a pec stretch. Feel free to do this in a doorway or a hallway where you can get both arms going at the same time. If you don't have that available to you, you can just have a wall. You can have your elbow up on a wall. I'll demonstrate it here. So elbow, shoulder height. You're gonna step through with that same leg. That's gonna pull the elbow behind you. You might already feel a stretch in the pec in front of that shoulder. And you can turn your torso away from the stretching arm to get a nice stretch in the pecs. And we're gonna hold there. You can play with different elbow heights. You can go higher than shoulder or a bit lower than shoulder. This is just sort of our default position, if you will. But explore around. Any stretch, you can explore different positions and angles. See if you can seek out those problematic areas. All right, let's switch to the other side. So I got my left arm on the wall. I'm stepping through with my left leg and turning my torso to the right. You may find, especially if you do have fairly tight pec muscles, that you get tingling or numbness or like fiery needles going into the hand with this stretch, because we do put some pressure onto some of the nerves across the shoulder. You're not doing any damage there, you'll be fine. You can either tolerate it until you're done, or just come out, shake your arm out, and then go back into it. Just take the pressure off the nerve. It'll kind of reset and you can continue the stretch. Our last one is an upper trap stretch. So for this one here, if you have something that you can anchor your one hand onto, like in this case, I can just use my rack here, coffee table or what have you, or table. That just helps keep this arm pulled down so that when I'm going into the stretch, the shoulder's not following. I want to create the distance between the shoulder and the ear. So feel free to hold on to something if you have something available, nice and tall. And I'm going to drop my ear to the opposite shoulder, looking to stretch the upper trap here. I would encourage you to try this one in front of a mirror, and then what you're looking to see is that you can still see both earlobes in the mirror. Very common is people will rotate the head. If you're watching in the mirror, you're going to lose this back earlobe behind you because you're rotating. And part of the reason why we go into this rotation pattern is because this is not restricted. When we force to go into a strict side flexion or side bending position, it's more challenging because now we're actually putting a stretch into some of the tissues that, well, may not have the mobility or flexibility they used to. And that's why we tend to avoid that angle. So use a mirror for feedback. It's a great little tool to use. And I'm leaning away. You might not be able to tell in the video, but my arm is anchored here and I'm leaning my body away from this shoulder, which is distracting or pulling that arm down. All right, other side. This is it. You're free to go after this, my friend. So anchoring in. Woo. I've got a little something in there, maybe from shoveling all the snow. So I will probably spend a little bit more time on this guy after I sign off with you. You may be able to tell, still from here, that even though I talked about make sure you're not defaulting to that position, you can play with different rotations or head back, head forward. Right? That's all part of the exploring to see what part of the anatomy needs the most attention. So play with your movements, go slow. Don't want to be cranking the head around on this one. And that's all I got for you. So thank you so much for participating in the January 2025 Spicy Workout. Love to hear feedback. What did you find? What did you like? What did you not like? What would you like to see in a future month's Spicy Workout? Let me know, and I'll see you guys at least next month, hopefully sooner.